good people? Mark Holmes here, and as always, I want to say thank you all for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Joe Boo Sports Report. Without you guys, as well as you ladies, you know that this literally does not work. Here at the Red Brick House, putting in the work, because the only way you're going to be successful is to do the work. There are no shortcuts to being great. So, I put out, you might remember a couple weeks ago, my man Bad Dog was doing a video, a live stream with Law Nation. And he said, Elijah Manning is better than any quarterback that the Dallas Cowboys have ever had. Okay, now Bad Dog's good people. He's in the gym working out and stuff. I guess he's got all kinds of time. I ain't got time to go work in the gym. That, and I'm old as shit and my body's falling apart. So going to the gym, I might leave an elbow, a knee, or something like that on a machine. Be that as it may, a couple years ago, he lambasted me about saying that Micah Parsons was starting his career out like, heaven forbid, Lawrence Taylor. And so I'm revisiting this now because now a lot of the talking heads out there now saying, basically before it was sacrilegious early on. Now I understand. Listen, let me clarify this, because Bad Dog doesn't seem to get this in his head. I'm not saying that the totality of Micah Parsons' career right now is equal to Lawrence Taylor. But when you look at where Lawrence Taylor was with his Hall of Fame greatest player, defensive player in the history of football, was at this point, you can compare where Micah Parsons is. And that's been my whole thing. He's doing things Lawrence Taylor is. Now, you know how you're winning an argument. I revisited this and I said, Bad Dog, is it too soon? See, you're winning an argument when, instead of answering the question, they deflect. See, immediately Bad Dog on one of the streams, talking to somebody else, Mark Holmes called me out, at me on one of the videos about Lawrence Taylor. Mark Holmes, you need to go ahead and deal with Cop Bizzle and everything. So you deflected, you didn't answer the question. You didn't answer the question. You immediately said, Cop Bizzle, you need to deal with him because he's owned you for all these years. And I will say, kind of like my quarterback owns you. Yeah. You deflected the question. You did not answer the question. And the question was, forget about me and Cop Pizzle or you and your feelings. Forget about your feelings. Right now, where Micah Parsons is, can you start equating it to where Lawrence Taylor was in his career? Because here's where I'm going to make the argument in the case for it. I would hope, instead of you going through and saying you need to deal with, answer the question. Just answer the question. If I'm crazy, then go ahead and tell me where it is not the same. Tell me where Micah Parsons fails as opposed to Lawrence Taylor. Don't give me, because see, this is what people always do. Well, Dak Prescott sucks and should be replaced. Okay, so give me a solution. I don't want to hear you're crazy. Give me the reason why I'm crazy. Okay? That's all I'm asking you for. So as I look at this right now, Micah Parsons, right now is going in his third season. He's had 36 games. He's got 29 and a half sacks. Okay? 29 and a half sacks, right? So if you go through and you look at the top 50 sacks. Excuse me, not 50 sacks. Excuse me. 50 games. First 50 games to start out a career. For example, Mark Gastineau is number one. Mark Gastineau, one of the greatest sackers out there in the NFL. New York Jet. Died too soon. He's number one. Number two is Curtis somebody with 41. If you go through, Micah Parsons is averaging about 0.81 sacks per game. That comes out to like 41. That would tie him second all time in sacks to start a career. Now, I get it. Aldon Smith came out and blew everybody away with the first 25 games and then petered out with off-the-field issues. There's no guarantee that Micah Parsons make it to 50, but I think he will. I think he will make it to 50 game. Be that as it may, Lawrence Taylor, his first 50 games was 37.5 sacks. Now, I will give you the game is different. Teams pass more than they used to. Got it, okay? But we're just putting that number into equate where he is. When you look at that, that's pretty good. Now, especially when you think that Micah Parsons isn't just an edge rusher. You've seen him play safety. You've seen him play cornerback. You've seen him play, lining up over the center, between the center and the guard. Basically, they say 8 positions. And for a guy who started out as basically a linebacker, was then converted out of necessity into a defensive end who played part-time, that's incredible. As opposed to, say, T.J. Watt, that every time he lines up with his hand in the dirt, ready to attack the quarterback. Okay. Lawrence Taylor was generational and a game changer. Lawrence Taylor was incredible. And Bad Dog, I'm not saying this to disparage Lawrence Taylor and his greatness. I'm not, because he was incredible. He was unbelievable. You had to go ahead and you tried it with your tackle. You tried it with your tackle, your tight end. You tried, the tackle, the tight end, and the running back. And he would still get there and still wreck games. Compare that to Micah Parsons. Micah Parsons lines up on the edge. You try him one-on-one, he's beating you every time one-on-one. You try him double team. He's beating double teams and getting to the quarterback. He is triple teamed and still putting pressure on the quarterback. He's putting pressures on there that literally blow everybody else's out of the water. He's currently on pace. Now, I know it's still early, okay? He's got 3 sacks in the first 2 games. That's on pace for 26.5 sacks for the season, which is possible. It's possible that he gets the sack record. It's also, here's the other part you have to look at this. We're talking about the Dallas Cowboys. The Dallas Cowboys, who have not been to the Super Bowl in forever, since 1995. The joke of the NFL. You now have people looking and saying that they, the Dallas Cowboys, could be a Super Bowl team. Hold on, I'll be right back. My apologies. I sent the wife to pick up some sandpapers for the sand machine and was telling her which ones to get. Be that as it may. Okay, so let's go back to the Dallas Cowboys, which have had great offense, okay? We had #1 offense and things like that. Now we're talking about the Dallas Cowboys being a Super Bowl defense. Super Bowl team. Why are they now a Super Bowl defense team? Because of the defense. Because of the defense. The defense led by Micah Parsons. Micah Parsons, right now, considered the best player in the NFL. In fact, people are saying he could be the MVP. Something only 2 other players have done, one of which, in a league NFL MVP, Lawrence Taylor is one of them. So, Bad Dog, back to my original question. If the Dallas Cowboys do happen to go to the Super Bowl, because that would be a miracle in itself. They've had Dak Prescott and the offense being #1 in football. We've had the Dallas Cowboys leading the NFL in points scoring. They haven't been in the Super Bowl. If the Cowboys are able to go to the Super Bowl, and Micah Parsons ends up being Defensive Player of the Year, possibly League MVP of the Year, if he ends up breaking the sack record and ends up getting into that top 2 list of sacks to start a career at 50, how can we not equate Micah Parsons like Lawrence Taylor? Now, I will give you, if all those things happen this year, well, we're still only talking about a 3-year span. Longevity is part of it too. He's got to play all that time like Lawrence Taylor to have that Hall of Fame career. But if he does these things, or even does some of them, you have to start looking at this as a generational talented player and a guy who you start comparing to other generational type players. I'm not saying he's Lawrence Taylor yet, but you can start putting it in the conversation. And see, Bad Dog, that's the way you actually have a discussion about something, as opposed to yelling and screaming and saying, you need to deal with, no, you need to deal with the real question. Just deal with the real question. It's not a hard question. If you say he's not, then give me the reasons why he's not. Okay? Can we be civil? See, that's the problem. People don't want to be civil. It's automatically, oh, you can't talk about my Hall of Fame greatest player of all time. How dare you? No. Let's have a discussion. Let's start the world on actually being able to talk about something that they disagree with. And let's see where it is when the dust clears. Speaking of that, I'm going to go make some more. Peace.